Well, I'm proud of my team. Last 2 weeks, they listened to the narratives out there that they weren't excited to play for anything, that, the season was over, and they simply went out and played inspired football in the last 2 weeks. They put, you know, consistent performances together over the last 2 weeks. And really proud of their performance. They played well against Vanderbilt and they played well against Oklahoma. Both those teams beat a team in Alabama that we lost to. So just really proud of our football team, proud of the way they prepared this week. And, they're 19. This team over 3 years is 19-2 at home. So, whatever camp you want to jump into, go right ahead. We had 5 freshmen and 2 sophomores on defense today, playing their tails off. So, again, we're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship. This team's building. We're excited about them, and we're really proud of them. So, with that, we'll open up to questions.
Coach Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Back here. Garrett Nussmeier goes out with an injury, comes back, shows a lot of grit and toughness. What did you see from him, especially coming back after that injury?
Grit and toughness, Look, what you want as a coach is you want them to resemble, the traits that you think championship teams should have. And at times you've got to have some grit and resolve. Like, when they're talked about in the manner that they have been over the past, 2-3 weeks, you want them to buckle down and bite on their their mouth guard and go out there and play. And that's what they did. And that's what he did. Listen, that's an easy tap out for most people, right? That's an easy one to say, I'm not coming back. But that's the kind of player he is. That's the kind of competitor he is.
Coach, right here, with Chris Hilton, did it just feel like a performance like this was sort of coming for him, and what sort of allowed him to be successful today?
Well, I think we've talked about this all year, that the deep threat has been missing from our offense, and it's been difficult. Teams have sat down on us. Teams have made it difficult for us because we haven't had that vertical threat. He was out 8 weeks, and it takes a while to get back into rhythm. And we either missed him on overthrows or, the timing wasn't quite, where it needed to be. But it normally takes about 4 weeks to kind of get that. That's why you have preseason camp. And he missed all that time. I'm happy for him. He got the game ball, and he made 2 big plays. That's part of the offense that we were missing and we needed desperately. And when you can push the ball down the field and have the other options that we have within our offensive structure, it allows you to run the football, it allows you to have that intermediate passing game, and then the vertical stretch is, it was huge for us. So we're happy to see that for Chris.
Yeah, Brian, you've waited all year for a kick return for a touchdown, and Aaron Anderson's tonight busted one. Just talk about, and it came in a key part of the game when you really needed it.
It did. It was a momentum turn for us. There's no doubt about it. And, putting Aaron back there was really, he was our backup. That's how smart we are, right? Xavier got dinged up and wasn't able to go. And, Aaron steps in there and has an electric return. And really, you're right. It was a momentum boost for us, and it really carried us, throughout the game.
Ryan, can you talk to me about your linebackers? What is Keys and Weeks and Penn? What do they do for the rest of your defense that really lets them play?
Well, we've been playing with 3 linebackers now for, 3 weeks. And, Devon's a freshman. There are things that, look, he makes some plays, but he's a sound football player. He's assignment correct. And we trust him, and you've got a freshman out there. Don McKinley was not blockable tonight. Another freshman, Amont Bro, was outstanding. P.J. Woodland was outstanding. Gabe Relaford played. There's 4 freshmen right there, making impact. So, when we think that, we're ready to sink, you got 5 freshmen that are playing in the SEC, and they're 5-3 in the SEC. look, I know what the standards are here, right? You know, everybody wants to win every game. We wanted to win every game. You know, we're not happy if we lose a game, but we're happy about the foundation of this program, playing with young players that are only going to get better, and we're going to supplement those players. And it was good to see them compete at a high level.
Coach, to your left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
More on Aaron Anderson, his improvement from last year to this year. It seems like most of your explosive plays this year, he had a large hand in those. What kind of example does he set for other guys to get better?
Well, he's not in that example-setting mode yet. What he's in right now is the developmental role relative to, you know, how to do things on a consistent basis, and I'm proud of him. He's made incredible strides. Everything that he does now is he's understanding how to take care of his body, how to eat right, nutrition, sleep right, and I can't wait to continue to work with him. It's really exciting. And what he's doing is making plays on the field, and we can see his raw talent, and it's only going to get better. He is just scratching the surface of where he can be. And so as a coach, you're just so excited. And he, on the other hand, can't wait to get into the offseason and reshape his body and work on the things that he needs to. So this is really an exciting time for him in his development.
Brian, you talk about, building the foundation and playing all these freshmen. What else, in addition to that, gives you confidence moving forward in what this team can be long term?
What else would you like me to give you? I mean, there's 7 players with 1 year experience on defense that just beat the pants off of Oklahoma. That's pretty good. And they beat a really good Vanderbilt team the week before. So, they're 5-3. We played a lot of young players this year. And so, when you take the body of work, we had 3 games that we had the lead late in the third quarter or we'd be talking about are we going to host, So, look, I could go on and on about, here's where we're going to be in January. In January, well, I'll back up. Yesterday at the hotel, 21 true freshmen made the travel roster. 21 true freshmen. We're going to introduce 16 mid-year freshmen into this roster. We're going to have 37 freshmen in winter conditioning for the first time. That's what our roster looks like. That's exciting. So when you're talking about the foundation for your program, that coupled with having key players come back, they haven't announced yet, but we're going to have some key players decide to come back. That's what's pretty exciting. And when we are finished with this roster will compete at the highest level.
Hey, Coach, here in the back, you talked about the confidence. You immediately said confidence and inspired football there. When you look back on the 3-game losing streak and you play up to par tonight, how humbling were those losses to get you here?
Humbling would not be the word I would use. I would say that they lacked the execution necessary when we needed it most. And so they were frustrating more than they were humbling. Humbling losses are more like the Alabama game, where you didn't play your best football. Those are humbling losses. The 3 losses that we had outside the Alabama game would be much more frustrating because you had a chance to win those games, and you really should have won those games, including the USC game where we had the lead, up to the last possession. So those were frustrating losses because we didn't execute when we needed to execute, and we were capable of doing so.
You said see you at the national championship. You talking about like next year or near future or what?
What do you think? What do you think? And look, listen. Here's my point. The standard is the standard here, right? The standard. I didn't come down here to go 8-4. I'm not happy about 8-4. Okay, nobody in that room's happy about being 8-4. What they're happy about is they've played well after a 3-game losing streak, and they bounce back. And this game teaches you lessons about grit and toughness and perseverance and not giving up and letting go of the rope, right? They easily could have fractured, right? Instead, they stuck together and they stayed committed, and they beat 2 teams that were really good football teams in this league and have pelts to show that they are good teams, right? We're not making that narrative up. So at the end of the day, we want to win every game we play. And the standard at LSU and at Alabama, they're not happy with 3 losses at Alabama. Georgia's not happy with 2 losses. Nobody's happy when they lose a game. But what I'm happy about in the short term is the way our guys responded to adversity. That's why I came in here and said I'm proud of our football team and the way they responded to adversity. The big picture is I'm excited about our future regardless of what people seem to think, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but nobody knows what it looks like from the inside. I've got the best perspective of that. And you can write away and have your own opinions, and that's fine. That's why you guys have a pulpit to do that. I have a better perspective of it. I don't listen to what you have to say, and we're going to build it the way we know that we're going to build it, and I'll see you in the national championship game.
We have time for 2 more.
Right here, Coach. You mentioned the deep passing game and just some, the overthrows. There have certainly been times this season where Garrett has been off target with that. Did anything change recently mechanically or from a coaching standpoint to where it was better this game?
We've been working on it, and he's not there yet. I mean, we missed some throws today, too, you saw, and some of those are mechanical. But, there's another guy that is so committed to, being better at those things. And this first year of competition for him really was a window toward what are those things that he'll be working on in the off season. So when he, hopefully comes back next year, can take that next step.
Scooter, you got the last one.
I'll ask the tough one.
Oh, Scooter, you always ask the tough ones.
Who makes the call on what uniform combination you go with?
There's only one call. It's our leadership council. So we have 26 representatives that represent all of the classes, and they make the decision at the start of the season as to what uniforms they want to wear. We have different combinations that they can wear. I don't really care what they wear, as long as it's uniforms that are prescribed by the university, and we wear them accordingly.
Thank you, Coach.
Good. All right. Thank you.